Hey guys, welcome. Evolution 2026. We are rolling along. We got a Saturday call today, which is super fun. Before we get started, a couple of announcements. We are 103 in the world on Skool right now, 15 in self improvement. And it's because of the energy of the summit and every one of you guys. The connections happening after every call is just super special and amazing. I think Dinka and I get closer to each other and our guests after 90 minutes, and it's super cool. Me and Dinka always we get together after these calls and we're like, oh my God, that was awesome. And that's the energy we have. And we're keeping that going today with Rob Lanthier from Canada, who runs Pure Life Mindset Deletes, which I am a big part of and love that community. He runs the Warrior Challenge and so many other things that I can't wait to get to today's. Welcome all the way from the Great White North, Rob. How's it going?
Pretty good. Thank you for having me, guys. I really appreciate it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man, you've
it's a
kind of
joy
been
to have
there.
you here. Yeah.
Yeah, you've been there from the beginning with our communities, really. And we found your community through Magnetic, probably. And then you found us, and you've always been there. So I was super excited when we did this idea to get you on here. Um, how we start all of these lately is kind of the theme is I just ask, who are you? Like, who is Rob in a nutshell?
Yeah, well, thank you. Absolutely. So, Rob, let me start by introducing my community. So, I'm life coach Rob. I have a community called Pure Life Mindset. I met, as Brandon mentioned, I met Brandon through, I believe, Magnetic Memberships, and we connected right away. The energy between our communities, the messaging has been very close, and we've helped one another. We've supported each other's communities. I launched my community back in August of 2024. So
Early
it's just
September.
over a year now, a year and a few months. We've grown it to now 1,700 members. My community is all about self-development, specifically discipline, fitness, sobriety. I'm a huge advocate for sobriety, obviously. Myself being 6 years sober now. And I really help people bring themselves to the next level through, again, discipline and mindset specifically. I'm just going to give you a quick background of the name Pure Life and how I came up with Pure Life Mindset. My wife and I spent a couple of winters ago. We spent an entire winter in Costa Rica, and we absolutely fell in love with Costa Rica. We love the vibe down there. It's very zen, very chill. The health mindset. People are very into yoga and fitness and eating well and just enjoying life. And one of the things that people say to each other when they greet one another, and just as a general statement, they say "pura vida." Pura vida translate to pure life, and I absolutely love that. And it really embodies what I think life should be all about, right? Just living the pure life, right? So I just got this t-shirt that I just wanted to show you guys that I got from Costa Rica. It says pure life. It's backwards, I think, on the video. But anyway, I got a whole bunch of
Actually, I'm in.
t-shirts, Pura Vida t-shirts. So that's where the name Pure Life came from. I really thought it fit nicely with the branding that I wanted for Pure Life and the messaging that I wanted to relay to my members. So that's how Pure Life was born just over a year ago. But it really started 6 years ago when I first got sober. If we go back 6 years or just over 6 years, I was a chef in a restaurant. I owned my own restaurant. It was always a dream of mine to own my own restaurant and to be a chef specifically. So I accomplished that dream 8 years ago. I opened up my first restaurant. Um, not even having any experience really in the restaurant business whatsoever. I just loved cooking. I went to chef school, but I never actually worked in a restaurant. And one day I'm like, I want to open up a restaurant. So I just opened up a restaurant because that's how crazy I am sometimes. And I remember calling my wife and I said, babe, there's a for sign sale here in this restaurant. This is a spot we should buy. Let's buy it. I ended up buying a restaurant and my dream came true at that moment. But my dream, unfortunately, it turned into a nightmare for me. I ended up being a slave to my business. I was working 80, 90 hours a week. And my passion quickly became, again, a complete nightmare. I fell into alcoholism very, very heavy. I was drinking on a daily basis every single day from morning to night. I was always kind of a wine connoisseur. I always enjoyed having a glass of wine with a meal. I was never like a hard alcohol drinker or anything like that. Not even beers, really. And all of a sudden, I'm chugging straight vodka at 7 o'clock in the morning just because of the pressure, the stress, the amount of work that I needed. There was so many things. It felt like my whole world was crumbling over me. So I was basically binge drinking for about 2 years straight, while working every single day. So I was basically a functional drunk in the restaurant, and basically drinking myself to death. I was in a really, really bad spot. I recognized that I was in a bad spot. Obviously, at a certain point, when I realized that I was no longer functional and people were starting to take notice, although I thought I was pretty sneaky in terms of hiding things, but um, it just ends up showing. People see it, right? So I ended up going to rehab and a couple of stints, and I eventually lost my restaurant because I was no longer capable of maintaining my restaurant. I was in a bad spot. Personally, I was in a bad spot financially. We were about to lose our home. So that was my rock bottom moment, and I decided at that moment that that's not what how my life was going to be for the rest of my life. So I ended up quitting drinking once and for all. I got the scare of my life one morning. Um, Actually, I was driving to work one morning and I ended up falling asleep on the wheel, drunk. It was about 7 o'clock in the morning. I ended up crashing the car off the highway, and I woke up, and I didn't remember a thing. I didn't remember a thing. And I came out of there without a scratch, and it was a complete miracle. And from that moment on, I basically told myself, either you're going to kill somebody else or you're going to kill yourself. You gotta get your shit together, right? So I ended up quitting that day. That was the last day I ended up drinking. That was 6 years ago. And from then I went on this journey of personal development. The gym personally really saved my life. I became a gym fanatic, a gym rat, as they say. It really helped me mentally. Obviously the physical aspect of it was nice, but it was really a byproduct of really what I was there for, was really the mental aspect of it. Getting my mental clarity back, and refocusing. So all of the discipline that I've been able to accumulate through my sobriety, through going to the gym on a daily basis, I've implemented in basically all aspects of my life. And now today I'm very regimented in the way I go about my business. I have very structured routines that I set. My morning routine specifically is very, very structured, and it really allows me to set the tone for the rest of the day. And that's really how my messaging to my members is that you can accomplish anything that you want in your life. You just need to be willing to put in the work on a daily basis. You need to be able to put in the consistent work. A lot of us, we rely on motivation, and motivation is obviously it's a fleeting thing. It's up and down, right? It's emotionally driven, right? We feel good one day, okay, we're motivated, we go 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 go. Tomorrow we might not feel so motivated, so we don't go. We decide, oh, we'll push it to the next day, I'll push it to the next week, push it to the next month. Before you know it, years go by and you haven't accomplished anything, right? So I'm a real advocate for putting in the work every single day to make sure that you get to where you need to be in life. So that's kind of a story of the last 6 years and where I'm at today. So yeah.
Man, I absolutely love what that question does. And then I guess talks for 15 minutes and you're just like, they tell you so much that you did know and didn't. So thanks for sharing all of that. I feel like ton to unpack, right? Um, I love the Pura Vida that I didn't know that. I've been in life. It's crazy because you started Pure Life in August. Dave and I started this in September, like end of August, September. So we were like piggybacking right off of each other coming up to where we are now. So I didn't know that about the community. And I love that meaning behind it, because every time you log in, even, you can remember that and feel that, and that gives you that energy going into your members. So I think that's a super special meaning behind the name, right?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. It means a lot to me for sure.
I think I'm kind of curious because you didn't know Rob probably as good as I did going into this.
No,
So,
we've never had the pleasure.
what was your reaction here?
I did know this about Costa Rica, although I've never been there. So when you started going there, Costa Rica, I immediately made the connection, and I love that. Actually, Costa Rica is also one of the five blue zones on the planet,
Mhm.
where people live the longest. So I really love that you took something that is not only meaningful to you, but also it's almost like a trademark, I think, for the that region, or at least now, with all the awareness about blue zones and longevity, and there's definitely a movement. So um I love that. And there wasn't really a question in there. I'm just like, my brain works in strange ways. Um, yeah, I really love the vibe, and I just kind of want to give you the stage to share with us whatever you want to share, because that has been the vibe also of these calls. And then if
Mhm.
or when we have questions, we will for sure interject. We have some questions from the members, and then we always ask the people on the call as well. So if you're okay with it, we just give you the stage, and I'm pretty sure you can fill a presentation of 90 minutes,
Yeah,
get
absolutely,
ready.
absolutely. I'm glad that you mentioned the blue zone thing because yes, that's definitely one of the aspects of why I loved Costa Rica so much. My wife is actually Greek as well, and we absolutely love Greek. And Greece is also one of the blue zones, right? And my wife's grandfather actually just sadly passed away on January 1st, literally 8 days ago, and he was 101 years old, right? And the the longevity that these he didn't live in Greece, but he brought I mean, he brought the mentality
Mm.
of the Greek culture back home to where we are now in Montreal, Canada, and the way he went about his business in terms of his nutrition, the discipline, um, community, family, all things that are important to longevity, and that these blue zones really it's part of their lifestyle. You know, it's not only about physical activity. It's not only about nutrition. It's not only about the climate. It's also about unity. It's about family. It's about
Mhm.
sharing. It's about laughing. It's about enjoying life, right? And it is something that unfortunately we've stepped away from. Specifically, excuse me, in North America. I'm from Canada. Brandon's from the U.S. And I think that in North America in general, we've kind of lost touch with the meaning of life and the importance of taking care of ourselves, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of this grind culture going on, I think,
Yeah,
like you just
100.
have to do this, and then, achieve so much, and then your health is on the back burner, and then if or when you retire, then you can start enjoying your life. And that to me doesn't seem like a very good business model. But
No,
yeah.
exactly, exactly. I'm okay with the grind culture, but there has to be some sort of, alignment with that grind. You know, sometimes or a lot of times people grind away, but they don't know why they're grinding away. They're grinding away for the wrong reasons. You know, they're trying to keep up with the neighbors. They're trying to, live the American dream, have the big house, have the nice car, have a lot of money in the bank, have this, have that, but does it really align with who you are? You know, and you kind of lose yourself in all of that. And all of a sudden, 30 years go by and you wake up and you're in your mid 40s and you say, what the heck did I do with my life? I've just been, living on a cycle of Monday to Friday, looking forward to Friday, and then, and binge watching whatever on the weekends, eating like crap, and then dreading Monday morning. And then the cycle continues and continues and continues. I've been on that cycle for many, many years. I've been in part of the corporate life as well. I worked for big corporate companies. I had many employees. I had the six-figure income. I had all of that, and I let it all go. Just to follow my dream, which was the restaurant business at that point. And it didn't end up working out the way I wanted it, but I wouldn't be where I am today if I hadn't gone
Mm.
the trials and tribulations of the restaurant, business, right? So
Rob,
have to
actually, I'm going to
go
Aaron,
ahead,
here
Randy.
quick. I actually have a question about that specific thing that I wrote down earlier when you're talking about it. What were the lessons there from learning that your dream was actually sucked the life out of you and became a nightmare, and then you're almost like restarting the dream? Walk us through that a little bit. What was that like?
You have to come to realize that things don't always play out the way you want them. And oftentimes we see setbacks as just setbacks. You know, we get down on ourselves because the things we hoped that they would play out didn't play out the way we wanted it. But we have to realize that those setbacks are simply set up, they're simply setups for something greater. And there's a plan for you, and you have to trust the process, right? So in the moment, it sucks. It's the worst feeling in the world. You are at rock bottom. Um, and honestly, rock bottom is a beautiful spot. It's a beautiful place. When you look at it, you know, from a retrospectively, mindset, basically. I'm
Right.
looking at my words there. In the moment, it's difficult. In the moment, rock bottom sucks. But it's an opportunity to start fresh. It's an opportunity to let go of everything and strip all of your ego, strip all of the thoughts that you've had, the processes that you've had, the just let go of everything and start up again from scratch. So rock bottom in a moment really sucks, but it's really a moment, an opportunity to really look at your habits, really analyze your life, really look at yourself in the mirror, and really have honest conversations with yourself and say, well, you know what you've been doing so far hasn't worked out. Now what? You know, and once your back is against the wall, there's nothing that you can't do. You know, a lot of the times we sell ourselves short. Basically, we give up on ourselves before even trying, right? Because we say, well, I can't do that. That's impossible. I can't do that. But when you have no choice to sink or swim, you're going to swim, right? You're going to figure it out. You're going to figure it out. That's it. So those moments are really moments where you realize what you're made of. You know what I mean? It's like, oh my God. And when you look back and say, holy shit, I'm still standing. I went through all of that. I'm still standing. Not only am I still standing, I'm stronger than ever now because I realized that I can do that. I've been through it and there's nothing that can stop me now because I survived that. There's nothing that can stop me now.
You almost like you almost take like the rose glasses off and you see your own capabilities and you're
Yeah,
like, holy shit, like now I can go. And I think what you said was beautiful, man. Like there's two moments inside of rock bottom. One is the worst you've ever experienced, and one is the most beautiful because now you decide not to go back there. So there's two beautiful, like one hard and one good moment in rock bottom. And and the choice that you made to keep going is incredible. So yeah, I think that was awesome, Coach. Thanks for answering that question, and
pleasure.
I'll let
My
you keep
pleasure.
rolling.
Yeah, and
And
I also feel that, how's it? I don't want to betray it. Redirection is protection. If you have kept going the way that you were going at that time, maybe you wouldn't have made it out of that. But because you were supposed to, you were redirected. The universe just turned up the volume and gave you something that you couldn't ignore, like that accident that you were mentioning. And it was your awareness of it that was like, wait a minute, what direction am I going? So that's where you take back your power. And as you say, once you overcome something like this and you build yourself up and you start something meaningful that fulfills you, looking back, and then, I did all of this, all life's problems kind of just shrink away. Like, like I can, it's a walk in the park. So I really, really love that. It's super inspirational also. And I love that your biggest wound becomes your medicine. That has also been kind of a recurring kind of little element in these talks as well. So I really love that for you.
yeah, great point, Dinka. The fact that we worry about these things that are so unimportant in the big scheme of things, right? And moments like that where you just these things that you worry about on a daily basis, you realize, like, my goodness, they're so irrelevant in the big scheme of things. They're so unimportant. We let ourselves get dragged by these things that are, they're nothing, you know. And this is why I'm such a huge advocate for physical activity and our health, because without our health, you know, once we lose our health, all of these things, all of these problems, all of these issues, they become irrelevant, right? Once your health is a problem, that is the only problem you have. Anything else does not matter anymore. So for me, I mean, the ultimate key to success, whatever you're striving for, whether it's to have a new business, to you know, move forward in your career, to whatever the case might be for you, the ultimate key, the pillar, the foundation to your success is your health. And for me, you know, movement is life. Movement is life. So you have to be moving your body every single day. If you look at a body of water, for instance, where we're predominantly made of out of water, right? If you look at a body of water, a body of water that is healthy, there's constant movement. There's constant movement. There's water flowing in, water flowing out, and there's life. There's frogs, there's fish, there's birds, there's all kinds of stuff, right? There's plants. That's life. If you look at, because there's constant movement. If you look at a body of water where there's no movement, it's stagnant, it's dying, it slowly dies. And we're the same. We're the same. If we don't move, we are slowly dying. So movement is life. You have to remember that. And we take our bodies such for granted. It's unbelievable. We have to realize that we are our greatest asset. We are our most important asset. We are our vessel. We are our weapon. We are, I don't know how many analogies I can use. We have to take care of our bodies. And this is what, you know, brought, this is really the mindset that I've taken on over the last few years, because I neglected my body for many years. I just, you know, I was in that grind mindset for many years, right? Which we're all on. We're focusing on our careers. We're focusing on competing with the neighbors or whatever, and we're neglecting our health and all of that, right? We figure we have it upside down, basically. If we find the time, maybe we'll work out, which we never find the time, right? Because we always come up with excuses. We don't have the time to work out. We don't have the time to eat proper. You know, maybe down the line, when I have more time, when things calm down in my life, I'll worry about, or I'll pay attention to me, right? And it makes no sense. You know, it should all start with you and your health, and then everything else falls into place. Everything else becomes easier once you have your mental health, your physical health. You suddenly become a better friend, a better father, a better mother, a better spouse, a better business person. Your whole life becomes easier and just flows easier when you have your health in check, right? So your health should be your number one priority, and that obviously, you know, sobriety comes into play. For me, whether or not you have an issue with alcohol, if you want to be the best version of yourself, there should be no space for alcohol in your life. Alcohol is a poison, just like cigarettes, just like any other drug, just like sugar. These are poisons, right? And you should not have them. You should not partake in them whatsoever. And a lot of people, unfortunately, they see alcohol, because it's so commonly accepted, they see it as a treat. You know, they see it as, you know, a celebration. We attribute it to celebration. We just went through New Year's, right? So what did everybody do on 31st? Celebrate. Let's have a drink. Let's have 2 drinks. Let's have 10, right? And then we step into the new year, crawling into it, right? Because we overindulge the night before, and it doesn't make any sense that you want to celebrate something by poisoning yourself. To me, it makes no sense. No longer makes sense.
Realize
Many years, but no longer makes sense to me.
you don't realize how deep that culture is until you go somewhere. Especially, I live in a super accepted state in the United States for alcohol. It's everywhere. But you don't realize how deep that culture is until somebody goes, "Hey, you want a drink?" And you're a bunch around people, and you're like, "No, I'm good." And everybody looks at you like you're like, "What?
What's wrong with you?
Yeah,
Of
you have to
course, because
explain it."
it triggers something in people, because maybe it's something that they don't even dare to go there, then that they don't want to go there, that it's like, how dare you not to drink, because it makes them wrong, or it gives them like this, so what's wrong with me if I want to drink? I remember we also take a couple of months break from alcohol completely at the beginning of the year, and everywhere we go, and then this comes up, like, me being a woman, the first guess is always like, oh, you're pregnant. And I'm like, there are other reasons not to drink alcohol than just being pregnant. It's like, it immediately makes people uncomfortable. It's like, what's wrong with you? Why are you not drinking? And this is the same over here in Belgium as well. Like, it's so ingrained in the culture. So yeah, I feel you absolutely.
But
I
if you
think
said, no, I
it's
don't drink
ingrained
water.
in most cultures. It's crazy. Most cultures have it. As a Canadian as well, in Europe as well, anywhere, like you said, Belgium. It's ingrained in all cultures around the world. It's just so widely accepted, right? But I mean, for me, for the longest time, when I first quit drinking, I was actually ashamed, right? Because of what people think right away. It's like they think that they didn't think I was pregnant. They thought I had an issue, right? Right away, it's like, well, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Oh, did you have an issue with alcohol? Yeah, okay, I had an issue with alcohol. So what? In my case, I did have a problem with alcohol. But why do you have to have a problem with alcohol to quit alcohol? You could just why not choose your health, right? Why not make better decisions for yourself? Why not, okay, I don't want to drink because I choose my health. That's my priority right now. That's it. And why would we even have to justify ourselves, right? So for the longest time, I felt complete shame. I was embarrassed. I basically stopped going out entirely for a couple of reasons. I mean, I didn't want to have to, get triggered by alcohol. It was
Hmm.
difficult at the beginning, but also I didn't want to have to answer to why I wasn't drinking. I was ashamed. I was embarrassed. So for many years, I hid. And now today, my mindset has completely shifted on that. I'm actually very, very proud of my sobriety. And I have no shame in telling people that I'm sober. And I have no shame in telling people that I had an issue with it. It's not something to be ashamed of. Many people had problems with alcoholism, right? And it's not to be embarrassed. It's to, okay, what next now? Now, how do we take ourselves back into control? It's all about the next move. What are we looking towards in the future?
How long
Okay,
does
maybe
the
this is
phase work?
a good segue into that question then. So after rock bottom hit, what was the first move then? How did it start your journey towards where you are now?
It's by taking it one day at a time. It's by taking it one single day at a time. When I first quit drinking, I could not fathom not drinking for the rest of my life. That was the thing. I was like, how am I going to not drink for the rest of my life? I'm in my mid 30s. I couldn't, it was like, it didn't make sense. It didn't compute in my mind, but that was the wrong mindset. The mindset is not drinking today. It's not drinking today. And tomorrow it will be not drinking tomorrow. And that's it. And then you accumulate those days, and all of a sudden, before you know it, you no longer need alcohol in your life. And it becomes a choice. It becomes a conscious choice. It's no longer about white knuckling through it, about, oh, I'm missing out on something. No, it's the opposite. Others are missing out on life, because I feel like, I just started living when I quit drinking. My life began, right? And today it's a conscious choice. Today I'm making a decision to choose my health as a priority today, and I'm not drinking today because my body is my vessel, and that's my priority right now. So it's taking it one day at a time. For those who might be struggling with alcohol, or that are, sober curious and thinking, how am I going to not drink for the rest of my life? Don't look at it like that. Just look at it not drinking today, and that's it. And tomorrow will be tomorrow, one day at a time. And that's how I see anything, any challenge people that give themselves, they look at it from, my goodness, this is overwhelming. How am I going to get from point A to point B? It seems so far to me. But you can't take it in one giant leap. You got to take it in small steps. You have to break it down in daily, steps. And that's how you see. So you have a goal, you have an objective. Okay, it's clear, this is where I want to be. Now, how are you going to get there? It's by taking small daily steps every single day. What is the task ahead of me, in front of me? What do I need to do today that will get me closer to my objectives, right? And tomorrow is tomorrow, and after tomorrow is after tomorrow, and you keep stacking those wins, and all of a sudden you're exactly where you need to be before you know it, right? So
I
you
think
can't look at it as this overwhelming monster of a thing that how am I going to get from here to there? It seems impossible. Just take that first step and then take a second step.
I think this is kind of a cool segue. Um, a way so con- connecting with others, holding each other accountable, stacking these habits in like simplified ways, and helping others is what you do with the Warrior Challenge in your elite program for Pure Life. I am a part of that. I know Chris is a part of that on this call. Becca, I would love. I think we're at that point in time where I would love to talk about that a little bit and how you brought everything that you do in Pure Life and beyond into the Warrior Challenge.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for the question. So first off, Brandon, you're also part of this challenge. So I started this challenge on January 1st, which is the Fit, Sober, and Grateful Challenge. So it's dedicating or challenging ourselves to daily physical activity every single day, maintaining our sobriety every single day, and setting something that we're grateful for. So I started posting on social media every day. I will be posting now from January 1st, as of January 1st, for the next 365 days, I'll be posting online the Fit, Sober, and Grateful Challenge. So doing something physical every day, which is super, super important. Maintaining my sobriety for today, not tomorrow, not next week, and stating something that I'm grateful for. So this is a challenge that I'm inviting anybody to join. There are all kinds of prizes to be won. Brandon was courageous enough to jump on the bandwagon. He's been posting every single day on social media. Chris Martin as well. So if you guys are up for the challenge and really challenge yourselves, please join us. And there are prizes to be won, which includes 1 year membership of the Pure Life Warrior app, which we just launched January
That was my next
1st.
question. It's awesome.
Yeah, yeah. So it's an accountability tool. It really helps you check in your habits, or basically there are like 10 habits that you need to check in every single day. And it's a great accountability tool. It's all points based. So there are fellow warriors that are competing on a leaderboard. It's a really awesome app. You check in your nutritional check, your daily physical activity, your sleeping habits, your journaling, your meditation, your cold exposure, heat exposure, grounding, so on and so forth. You're going to be maintaining sobriety as well. So it's a really nice tool to basically just check in, and you could upload pictures to social media, and it's all points based. So every action that you take, you accumulate points. And there are also prizes to be won, which is really cool. The number one prize for this year is actually credits to our retreats. We will be hosting our first retreat in Mexico, October 22nd in Playa del Carmen. I have a partner down there, which is Amma. I don't believe she's on a call. I think she's actually hosting a retreat this weekend as well. So we're going to be doing some in-person retreats in Mexico on a regular basis as well. I'm hosting some retreats locally here as well. Our second retreat is going to be February 22nd here. So that's kind of the next phase of our business now. Our mission is to really get people together in person in these retreats. The online space is obviously great. Skool is obviously great. It gets people together, but we want to bring people together, on a human level, in person. That's where we feel like the real connection is. So look out for that in 2026. But yeah, the Warrior Challenge is just launched. It was very important for me to launch it on January 1st, just because of the timing of things in terms of New Year's resolutions and all of that. So this is a tool that's going to get you to make sure that you stick to your New Year's resolutions, because as you guys know, New Year's resolutions, a lot of people, the official quitting day for New Year's resolutions is the second Friday of the year. Okay.
How long
We're
people make
Saturday. We're Saturday today. Friday was yesterday. That was the first Friday. So by next Friday, most people are quitting their New Year's resolutions. That's how quick people quit on themselves, right? 2 weeks. And we want to make sure that these New Year's resolutions stick, right? So this is why we've created the Pure Life Warrior app. Um, One of the reasons why, I just mentioned New Year's resolutions. I don't really like to use the term New Year's resolutions personally. I don't have New Year's resolutions because they're people go about it the wrong way. They think that, again, it's about changing or overhauling their entire lives because there's a flip of a calendar, right? And they overwhelm themselves with these outlandish dreams and goals that don't make sense, that don't align with them specifically, right? Just because they feel like, well, that's what everybody's doing, so I'm gonna have a New Year's resolution, but they don't even really know why they're doing it and if it aligns with them specifically, right? I'm gonna start a diet. I'm gonna get in the best shape of my life. I'm gonna start a business. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. But there's no structure behind it. There's no vision. There's no, goals. There's no structure, like I said. So and there's no alignment really, most importantly, because they don't really know why they're throwing these. It's kind of like throwing darts at the wall, like, I'm just going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do that, but they don't know how to get there, right? Or how to, what it takes to get from point A to point B. So they give up on themselves, they overwhelm themselves, and they give up on themselves 2 weeks in, right? They don't look at it from a big picture perspective, and realizing that you have to kind of stack those wins to get there down the road. So this is why the Pure Life Warrior app is so great, because it's an accountability tool. It makes sure that you're checking in every single day,
Yeah.
and you have accountability partners as well, the four fellow warriors. You don't actually only have access to the app, you have access to me on a weekly basis. We host 3 weekly Zoom calls within the elite group. So you're going to have all kinds of accountability through that. So I think that community is super, super important, and getting to, from point A to point B together is super important.
Well, that's kind of, and it's the experience has been amazing. I've been a few days in, and the WhatsApp chat, like connecting with others. I'm giving the girls, Hazel and Becca, all kinds of problems. I'm giving them crap. It's so fun. Like we're holding each other accountable. I'm saying, hey, you're doing this. Like, let's get our habits together. And people, then I'll see them do that. Like Chris and Sarah, and there's a bunch of us in there, and it's pretty cool. But I'm curious. Like you started last year, and now you got your community, and now you got an app that you're having people use. And I like to give a little bit of everything to people on these calls. Your story, I'm sure, touched a lot of people. And we have a ton of community owners in here. So touch base a little bit on, you started a year ago, you build a community, you build a culture, you build what elite means and what the warrior, your like next phase means. And now you're talking in real life meetups. What are the steps or key decisions that you had to make along the way that brought you from starting a community to all that stuff happening right now?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, it's a Skool, as you know, is constantly evolving, and as community owners, we have to kind of reinvent ourselves along the way and kind of figure things out. When I first started my community back in August 2024, I had no idea really what Skool was. I just saw an ad from Hermosi, kind of join the Skool community thing. All right, I just signed up, and that first day I created my community, and I've been basically learning as I go along. It's been a challenge for sure, but it's been so fulfilling. I started this community with really one objective, was to help people. I didn't know if it was going to turn into a business. Even if it didn't turn into a business, that was kind of not my objective. I just wanted to help as many people out there live a life of that they deserve, and
Vida.
step out of their comfort zones and realize that they're capable of so much more than what they think they are capable of, right? People sell themselves so short. It's unbelievable. And I just wanted to, help as many people as possible out there live the life of their dreams. So, and going along the ride now of being a community owner, trying to find what works and to how to reach the most people and how to have the most effective tools to help people. So I created the Elite program, which is a smaller group, and more, a more tight knit group of accountability partners, which helps a lot. And I think that the app is something that is really going to take things to the next level and really help the masses stay on point with their goals. But the ultimate dream right now is really the retreats. It will really tie in the bow for me in terms of pura vida, pure life, the mindset of that, the whole messaging, the branding of what Costa Rica had brought to me in terms of the vision and the lifestyle. I think that the retreats is really going to tie things in really nicely for us. That's really the end game, and is really bringing people together in an in-person forum. I think that's a dream of mine, which will be coming to fruition now this year. So I'm also in the Airbnb business. For those of you that don't know, that's my main source of income. My wife and I own an Airbnb business locally, and we're actually looking to expand our business in Costa Rica, where we'll be hosting our retreats in our Airbnbs down there. So that's the ultimate dream, is really tying in my businesses of Airbnb and coaching, put them together. So that's something that we're looking towards now in 2026, which is very, very exciting.
Yeah. It's awesome stuff for sure. What in that story, guys, community owners, he didn't launch an app and the Warrior Elite program and a challenge and school in real life summit event type of deals on the first day. He built a community. It took him a year, and now we're evolving step by step. And that's, I think, the best thing we can take from your story as community owners is evolve with your community. I love how you said we always kind of have to like figure it out as school evolves. We have to identify ourselves as owners and go with the flow. I think when we try to go like, this is what pure life is, and we're going to do it this way. And that doesn't work. You just need to go like, okay, this is what school's becoming and what pure life's becoming. So I'll become that too. And I think once you fall into that, now you look at you, man, Costa Rica and congratulations. Cause I think I've been in your communities almost since the rip, and it's been kind of cool to see where you are going right now. Dinka, I'd love to bring you in and see if there's any moderator questions at this point or your wonderful antenna thoughts.
Yeah, we do have a question of Mark, who sadly cannot be on this call. He has been on almost all the calls, so we feel like he's part of the panel, but I made sure that I will pass on his question. So he asks, what strategies can you share for someone who feels overwhelmed by self-doubt and anxiety, especially when trying to embrace change and pursue their dreams?
That's a really great question.
Yeah,
Well,
Mark's asking good questions all the time.
yeah, yeah. I like that. I'll go back to. I mean, a lot of people feel this way, right? They overwhelm themselves. It's about not looking at taking a giant leap. It's about building momentum and starting small, and building confidence, right? Because we lack the evidence, right? When we're starting from scratch, we lack the evidence that we're capable of doing what we're looking towards doing, right? We don't have that evidence, so we don't have the confidence, right? It's normal. We've never done it before, but we sell ourselves short because we say, well, I've never done this before, so therefore I'm not able to do it, which is false. But you can't go from not doing something to going all in and thinking that overnight it's going to happen. It doesn't work like that. You have to build that momentum towards it. You have to build that confidence. So you have to start small. Give yourself small objectives And I talk about the comfort zone a lot, and it's about stretching that comfort zone. It's not about, diving all in. Sometimes diving all in is what's needed. Sometimes, yes. But generally speaking, you have to be able to stretch that comfort zone. So it's about putting a toe outside of that comfort zone and seeing how you deal with it and realizing, okay, I'm able to do this. That's not bad. Okay. And then stretching that comfort zone and stretching and stretching and stretching. And all of a sudden, things that were uncomfortable in the past are all of a sudden comfortable, and so on and so forth. So it's by starting small and expanding that comfort zone, and realizing that you're capable of so much more than you are. But it's not about taking a giant leap. It's about building that momentum over time and being patient with yourself.
Mhm.
People think that they give up on themselves because they try once, they fail, and then they retreat to comfort. They retreat to what they know, right? But you have to realize that failure is just you getting closer to the end objective. Failure is part of the process.
Yeah, it's just
Failure,
data, right? Like you
it's
have,
data. Exactly. It's feedback, right?
yeah.
Failure is feedback. And if you're not failing, you're not trying. If you're not failing, you're not moving forward. Failure is part of the process. So fail as many times as possible. Don't be afraid to fail. Failure is not, don't see failure as a wall. Oh, failure, walk back. No,
Mm.
failure is just a part of the portal. It's a portal to the life of your dreams. It's just, you have to go through failure. There's no, sometimes it happens. Okay. Everything is aligned, everything works the way you wanted. It happens, yes. Most of the time, it never does, right? There's, as much as you want things to go in a straight line, you're going this way, you're going this way, you're going this way. It's just part of life, and failure is part of it, and you can't be too hard on yourself. You got to get yourself back up, dust yourself off, and try again, try again, and try again. Because every time you fail again, it's just getting you closer to the end game. So you can't be afraid of failing.
I feel like there's also a big part of it, which is mainly self-judgment. Because if you think about it, when we are babies and we're learning to walk, for example, how many times do we fall back on our butt before we can actually take that first step? But babies don't care about that. Like they don't have that, oh my God, I failed. I shouldn't try at all. Like they just keep on trying until they succeed. And that's the lack of judgment because for babies, for children at a young age, all there is pure possibility. It's not like the excuses or like why shouldn't I do it, but it's like there's the objective, I want to do it. Therefore, I'm going to fail as many times as it takes for me to do what I do. So I think in a way maybe we have to be more like children. Um
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. Our egos get in our way,
oh, big
right?
time.
It just,
Yeah.
oh, we don't like to look bad. We don't like to not succeed, right? We're so afraid of judgment. We judge ourselves so, harshly. It's unbelievable.
We're our toughest critics, always.
But yeah,
Always.
if
And
you've
and we
never done
project that
it,
on other people. We'll go to a grocery store and be like, "Oh, that person thinks I'm looking stupid. That person's got their own shit. They're not worried about you." You're
they don't
projecting
care about
judgment from other people that doesn't even exist. And it's crazy how often we get caught in that trap, isn't it? Like,
Oh
oh,
yeah. Yeah, no, it's incredible. It's incredible. We think we're the center of the universe. People don't care about you in the general public. They don't care. Everybody's got their own shit going on. Everybody's got their own troubles. Everybody's got their own struggles. Everybody's got their own insecurities. And we're walking around thinking like everybody's paying attention to you. They don't care about you.
and
you know?
if that person is like, "Oh God, look at that guy's shoes." Like if they are judging you, you're not asking that person for advice at the end of the day anyway, so it doesn't
Mm,
matter. If you
yeah.
wouldn't ask someone for advice, don't care what they think. And that's like somebody told me that once, and that kind of changed the way I look at stuff. If you're not going to ask somebody, "Hey, how do I improve my life?" Don't give a crap about what they think.
Yeah.
And I was having a conversation with a member yesterday on Kara, and he did some stuff in his community, and then advice I gave him or whatever, and he messaged me or he dropped a thread, and he said, "Thanks for the feed forward." instead of feedback.
Mm.
And I was like, oh, I
Oh, I
love that.
love that. Yeah,
Yeah, that's what our failures should be. It's feed forward, the lesson that
I
moves us
love that.
to the next level. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also feel like because we were talking about accountability and your app and just like the challenges that, there's like all these warriors supporting each other. I feel like celebration is also a big part of this journey, like celebrating any win, really. It doesn't matter how big or small. Do you have any kind of wisdom or practical tips and tricks on that?
Absolutely, absolutely. We're so quick to judge ourselves, right? We're talking about judging, right? When we fail, oh, I did bad. We get so down on ourselves. But what about the small things that we do right? Do we take the time to celebrate those things at all? Or we just take them for granted? Okay, well, I did something good. Okay, whatever, move on to the next. No, you have to take the time to celebrate those small wins, right? So
Mhm.
that's another thing that I advocate for a lot is giving yourself small, especially if you're starting from scratch, if you're not used to challenging yourself, if you're not used to stretching that comfort zone, start very small, give yourself some small daily objectives. I always say 3 to 5 small daily objectives,
Mhm.
and make sure you accomplish those objectives and make sure that you celebrate them. Make sure that you pat yourself on the back and you register that how you feel. You register that feeling of accomplishment, of celebration, right? Celebrate that. It's so important. Give yourself we're so hard on ourselves, but we got to take the time to we have to be essentially we have to be our best friends, right? We have to be our best accountability partners, our best friends. We have to be our biggest cheerleaders, right?
Because
We
until
often,
then, you rely on others. Sometimes some of us, I know I did in my life, you rely on others until
oh
you
yeah,
become your best friend, your best, like your first call of like, hey, get me out of this. You're always going to kind of rely on other people. So that really resonates, Coach. I'm glad you.
yeah, yeah. We often depend so much on others, and we have to depend on ourselves more, expect less from others and expect more from ourselves. It's not about being hard on ourselves. We can be hard on ourselves. Yes, that's fine. We can demand more from ourselves. That's okay. But we expect to have handouts. We expect, others to save us. We expect others to be there for us. But what about expecting ourselves to be there for ourselves? You know what I mean? Expecting more from ourselves and less from other people is really important, right? So take
Then you
time to
can
celebrate.
accept everything.
Sorry?
You can see everything else that people like have to offer. When you're really taking care of yourself first and you're your first like confidant, then what the other people have to offer, you're gonna accept that more. You're gonna listen more. You're gonna take their advice. So yeah, I really think it starts with with ourselves as well.
Yeah.
I had a mentor that once would always say, such when we were talking about celebrating wins, I had a mentor that would always say, make the bed like no one's watching and celebrate that. Every day, make your bed, even though nobody's coming over to your house, even though like you might leave and go to work and no one's going to know. But when you make the bed and then go, hey, good job. You started the day with a win. You release the dopamine of celebrating that win, being proud of yourself, and you did a little win every day. So now you're 3 to 5. You started one win every single day. You made the bed. So I've always now since that, I think we're going on like 3 years. I always make the bed. Even though I'm going to be home, no one's coming over. I work from home. I make the bed first and I celebrate that. I go, good job. Because I don't know, there's power. I found a lot of power in that.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why for me, my morning routine is so key, really, because it really sets the tone for everything else, right? So all of these small things, these small routines, like you said, doing the bed or whatever, especially in the morning, I find is so crucial because it really sets everything up for the rest of the day. If you're starting your day upside down, rushing out the door, grabbing a donut, whatever, it just sets the whole day upside down wrong. You know what I mean? So making sure that you have a winning routine in the morning is so key. So for me, obviously, physical activity is part of my morning routine. That's just it's a no-brainer for me. I know a lot of people like to work out in the evening and whatnot, but for me, I mean, it just you talked about the dopamine rush and all of that. I mean, I've never met anybody that stepped out of a gym in a bad mood, right? It just you feel so good, right? Walking out of the gym. So why not starting your day? Why not start your day with that amazing feeling, right? So, for me, it's all about I do my cold plunging every single morning. I do my grounding every single morning. I do my journaling every single morning. I'm putting in the workout, whether it's going to hot yoga classes or the gym. That's all done in the morning, right? So I recognize now that I have some freedom in terms of my daily routines. I don't have a 9 to 5 anymore, and I realize that a lot of people do, and it's not always easy to fit it in, but it needs to become a priority for you. If you have to be at work at 8 or 9 or whatever, and you finish at 5, make sure that you get yourself up an hour earlier. Make sure you get it in. You don't need an hour at the gym. All you need is 15 minutes at home in your basement, whatever. It could be going for a walk. It could be stepping outside, getting some fresh air, putting your face in the sun. It could be yoga. It could be stretching, whatever, anything,
Mm.
anything that makes sure that allows you to get that physical activity in the morning is so crucial. So just make it a priority, right? You can look for all of the excuses in the world. As long as you're looking for excuses, you will find them. But if your priority is your health, then make sure you find the time for it. You will find the time for it. You cannot tell me that people don't have the time. I'm sorry.
I have a really cool comeback to that. When people say that I don't have time, I always ask them, "Can you send me a screenshot of your screen time from your phone?"
There you go. There you
So
go.
discussion closed.
Close. That goes for about 99% of people out there
Yeah.
now. It's just a fact. It's just a fact.
Well, I think
So
there's a
go ahead.
sweet theme here. And the Kyle Berry guest of ours a couple days ago or last week, he said something. He said, I think Dink asked him, like, what's your number one habit or power habit or something? And he said, sleep like your life depends on it. And then you are like, start your day great. So that's really, guys, health, wellness, holistic. There's going to be things thrown at you. All of us know all kinds of things, right? Sleep good, start your day good. It's pretty
Yeah.
much what it does.
Yeah. Oh, sleep is definitely something also that is super, super important, right? And this is coming from somebody that had tremendous issues with sleeping. Obviously, when I was drinking, my sleep was horrible, right?
Mm.
I used to drink to fall asleep, but basically I was drinking to pass out. But I'd pass out for like an hour or two, and then I'd be up most of the night because my anxiety was through the roof, and just alcohol is terrible on your sleep, right? I used to have to take 3, 4, 5 sleeping pills a night to get a half decent night of sleep. Now I take no medication whatsoever. I sleep like a baby. So I mean, sleep is everything. It helps you recuperate. It's such an important key aspect to longevity, the clarity. So yeah, sleep is really important, and it's about maintaining the same kind of sleeping window and remaining consistent with it. If you're going to bed one night at 1 a.m., the next day night at 10 p.m., your night schedule's all screwed up. Your sleeping habits are all messed up. Your body doesn't know when you need to be sleeping or not, right? So make sure that if you're having trouble with sleeping, make sure that you're consistent with that sleeping window. 10, for me, it's 10 to 6, 10 to 5 kind of window, right? Get your body used to that every single night, and eventually your body will regulate. And again, I've never slept so well in my life, and I had issues like horrible sleeping patterns in the past. So it can regulate. We talked about social media earlier. I mean, shutting off the screens earlier in the evening is very, very important. Making sure that you're getting your mind ready for sleep, right? So if you need to shut it off, give yourself a hard cutoff of 8 p.m. or whatever. Your eating habits also go into play with your sleeping habits, right? If you're eating too late, it will affect your sleeping as well. So I no longer eat late at night. I used to eat very late, 8, 9 o'clock at night. I used to eat like the Europeans do. I no longer do that. My meal now, my latest meal is like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. I don't eat later than that. And my biggest meal is my lunch, really.
Mhm.
I don't have breakfast. I no longer have breakfast anymore. I do intermittent fasting. So I
Damn.
have like an 18-hour window where I don't eat. My first meal is typically, now it's 12:15 here. I haven't eaten anything yet. And I've been up since 6 o'clock. I went to the gym. I went to yoga. I've been out and about. And I'm not hungry. You get used to it.
For the
Um,
people, wait, for the people going, what? My God, because I'm that same schedule actually, and I've developed that over the last 2 years. Intermittent fasting has changed my life and my body and the way I have a relationship with my body. If you ask me, I understand it so much better.
mhm.
So for the people going, that sounds scary. I'd be a nightmare if I didn't eat breakfast. Coach, how do you do that? How do you do that? And what benefits have you seen?
My God, I lost 50 pounds in the first 4 months of doing intermittent fasting. Like, it was crazy. My body was so inflamed. First of all, I changed my eating habits completely in terms of what I was consuming also at the same time. So, I stopped eating gluten, anything with sugar, processed sugar specifically, anything dairy. I went for like carnivore diet for like the first 3 months. I just complete basics. I cut out everything. I kind of rebooted my body. I ended up losing 50 pounds in the first 3 or 4 months, like I said. But it's about, people think that they need to stuff their faces. You got to give your body a break, right? As much as you're stuffing your face, your body needs to process that, right? So everything you're putting in your mouth, your body is processing it, right? Let's say you're giving your body a muffin or a donut in the morning. That's the first thing that you're putting in your body. That's the first thing that your body is processing in the morning. So it's basically giving you a sugar rush, and then you're crashing, right? So people think that they need to, like, the breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Maybe, but make sure that that first meal that you're eating is good for you. Like, the people stuff themselves with cereals and all this kind of crap, even if it's multigrain cereal or bread. It's all garbage, slow processed stuff. It's all crap. And people think that they need to stuff themselves with that to have energy, but it's a short energy. It's a short spurt of energy, followed typically with a big crash. And I've never
But
had so
that
much
sells energy
energy.
drinks because then you need the energy drink at 3 o'clock. Coach,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I used to take the
drives the
energy drinks a
system.
lot as well. I no longer do that either. Right now, I just drink black coffee. I used to drink coffee with a ton of sugar and a bunch of cream. It was like basically a dessert in a cup, right? But
What
I try.
Starbucks is.
Sorry.
That's what Starbucks is basically.
Yeah. Oh,
It's
yeah. Yeah.
diabetes in a cup, right?
Yeah. 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 And it's like it costs like $8 for it too, right? So,
Yeah.
Have to save
so
them, right?
yeah, transitioning to black coffee was difficult in the beginning, but then you get used to it. Now anything sugary I take, it's like, oh my goodness, it's so
Mm.
strong. It's ridiculous. But anyway, I've never had so much more energy. I've never had so much energy in my life, since intermittent fasting. I work out in the morning and I do heavy weightlifting on an empty stomach, and I'm able to lift heavy because of the quality of the food that I intake when I do eat. My 2 meals a day that I do eat, which is high in protein generally, um, eggs, grass-fed beef, some fruits, some vegetables, some raw honey. Is basically my nutrition. My diet is very, very simple. It's very not complicated at all. But by the way, in the Warrior Challenge app, you also have a whole meal plan for you, because I realize a lot of people just don't know enough about nutrition, what's good, what's not good. There's a lot of misinformation out there, right? And me having my background as a chef, I've been able to create an entire meal plan in the Warrior Challenge. So you just need to follow it to a T. You have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. For those of you that don't want to do intermittent fasting, you have breakfast, lunch, and dinner meals for 30 days straight. You also have a whole vegan meal plan in there for you as well. So
Mango
really,
chia yogurt. Let's go.
yeah.
I took that recipe down the other day, and yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So for those of you who are curious about intermittent fasting and worried about starving, you're not going to starve. Trust me. You got to give your body a break. again, your body is constantly trying to process what you're stuffing, right? So anything that you're ingesting, your body's like, okay, what do I do with this? I need to put it here. I need to put it there. I need to process it somehow. So your
Our
body's
body has so much bandwidth, right?
exactly,
It can only
exactly.
do so much, and it takes a lot of energy to digest food. And if we're digesting all the time, guess what is happening? Our energy is taken away from other areas, our
Yep,
brains, our hearts, everything. But
yep.
digesting all day is not good for us.
No, 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 absolutely. And I look at these people that do these crazy fasts. I haven't I done one yet. I haven't gone past a day, but some people do these crazy water fasts, like 40 something days, and feel energized like they've never, been before in their lives. I find that fascinating, and I think that maybe I don't know if I'm going to do a 40-day fast, but at least maybe a 3 or a 5-day water fast. It seems
Mm.
really interesting to me. It really
Yeah,
allows your
coming.
body to regenerate.
Dr. Melissa Parteka in here got me, I don't know when it was now, probably last year about this time to do my first 5-day fast. She sent me all the information because she did it. She inspired me. It was day two's first 2 days were hard. After that, I've never felt better. I was going for runs. I was going to the gym. My energy was through the roof. I did not expect that. I seen it, but I didn't expect the way it was. Never felt better. And that got me. Now I want to do one every couple months. So I highly recommend trying it in your evolution of intermittent fasting. Do a 3, then try a 5.
No, definitely, definitely. Yeah, because your body is not working on processing, it's working on healing at that point, right? It's
Yes.
working on you're have no
Regeneration.
time now to address certain situations because you're just stuffing it with whatever, it's busy processing whatever you're stuffing it. All of a sudden now by fasting, it's working on fixing different things, adjusting and whatnot. So yeah, no, I'm a huge fan of that.
Kind of love these calls and love that we went down a fasting rabbit hole. So thanks for that. Dinka, any moderator questions? Or if anybody is in here, we're kind of winding down here a little bit. If anyone's in here and wants to take themselves off of mute, raise your hand. We can unmute you and you can ask a question for Life Coach Rob.
Checking the thread in the meantime.
Becca, so Rob, you have an awesome story. You're one of those guys that we linked up right away because we kind of have that same mentality. Our stories resonate. I was rock bottom to small, simple choices. I was 15 minutes in my room, no sugar, 15 minutes in my room a day with resistance band. I lost 70 pounds in 90 days. Everyone was like, how did you do this? I didn't do anything special. I quit sugar and just stayed consistent. So your story really resonates with me. I call the gym the monsters playground because I don't go for a beach body. I go so this is okay every day. So
Yeah.
I really resonate with you. And Christian raised his hand. So we're going to take him off. You should have permission to talk now, Christian, and you can ask Coach a question.
I would just like to say thank you, Coach Rob, for taking the time out of your day to talk to us, and thank you, Brandon, and your partner for putting this together for us.
My pleasure. My pleasure, Christian. Thank you for being there.
Amen. Your
Yeah,
presence is always felt. Thanks for
these
being here.
calls have been really amazing. It goes by so quickly, and every single time it feels like talking to a friend. We haven't had the pleasure of talking to each other before, but I always feel like there's a connection, and because we want to build something, we want to help people, and I think that's what matters. So it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you, Rob.
Like,
Um, shall we slowly wrap up the call with the usual things, Brandon?
Yeah, I think we're at that stage. Just give her a roll.
So I draw a card for every guest that we have on the summit, and for you, I actually find it super fitting. It says Sky Father, and it reads "Trust in the unknown." I hope it
mm,
resonates, or I don't know if you have anything to share.
definitely, definitely, that definitely resonates. Trust in the unknown, of course. Yeah. Realize that we can't know everything, the next steps. We can't know everything in our lives, the way things are going to play out. We can't expect things to know how things are going to play out, and we can't expect to be in control all the time, and trust that there is a plan. There is a plan in the grand scheme of things, but trust that everything will work out. Trust that, Failure is part of the journey. Fear is part of the journey, and don't worry about it. Don't be so hard on yourself. Trust in yourself. Give yourself more credit, and everything will work out. Everything will work out. It might not work out the way you envision it, but it will work out in the end. Everything is temporary, and this too shall pass. If you're going through a hard time, this too shall pass.
Oh yeah, I love that. I love it how you use like a really no nonsense language, and it's not like you speak in, this kind of woo woo way, but it's just like super down to earth and real, because it also shows that it comes from lived experience. You're very authentic and you show up with your heart first. So I thank you for that.
I appreciate that, Dinka. Thank you so much.
Guys, so uh, Pure Life, Pure Life Mindset, guys. It's an amazing community. I'm all over there. You'll see the Tornado Daily, the Warrior Challenge, the app, everything Rob does in his communities. If you're not over there yet, go over there, check it out. January 15th, guys, if you still want to chase me and everyone else and to go to Mexico, shit, come to Mexico with us. I might go if I lose this or not. Like, let's do this. I believe that everything Rob is doing, man, you do from your heart. You're not afraid to say I messed up and this is how I slowly got back in order. The one day at a time thing really resonates with me. Pura Vida, man, I really that. I'm going to be saying that now. I really love that. And we wrap up all these calls for the same way. And we ask each guest, what does evolution mean to you? And our answers have been pretty awesome. So what does evolution mean to you, Coach?
You mean the community?
No, the word, just evolution. What does that mean to you?
Hmm. Life is all about evolution. Life should not be about stagnation. Life should not be about familiarity. The purpose of life is to evolve. I think, a lot of people ask, what is the purpose of life? Purpose of life is to grow and evolve, right? And for me, if I'm not growing and evolving, then what's the point? What's the point of it, right? It's about learning, it's about growing, and we never stop evolving. I think our entire lives, there are different, seasons or different chapters, whatever you want to use, analogy you want to use in our life. What we want today may not be what we want tomorrow. What I wanted 10 years ago is not what I want today. And that's because we evolve, right? It's as simple as that. People say, well, you've changed. Well, what do you
Thankfully.
expect? Isn't that the whole point? I don't know. Like,
I came from a really
it's
closed-minded area, and my whole culture growing up within my family beyond was people can't change. People don't change. People are the way they are. And I believed that for many, many years. And it's actually not believing that is what got me out of my rock bottom. I wouldn't accept that anymore. So, Coach, I think you're an epitome of everything we do here in Foundations, the 5 pillars, living your life with balance. Keep keep showing up. Thank you for everything you do in this community. And I'm proud of you, Coach. Thanks. Good job on 6 years of sobriety and everything you do in your life.
Thank
Thanks
you,
for
brother.
showing up today.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you for the opportunity, guys. I really appreciate both of you very, very much. And anything I could do to continue to support the Evergreen Evolutions. Pure Life Mindset is a friend of Evergreen Evolution.
Thank you. The feeling is mutual, and I also have the feeling that it's not the last collaboration between our communities and us. So
This is the beginning.
we all win
You're staying with
together.
me for at least 361 more days.
Oh yeah, right.
All right, everybody. Evolution 2026. Let's keep schooling, guys, because it's pretty freaking incredible.
See you
See you guys.
guys. Ciao, ciao.